and just welcome. The company was founded in 2008. The first products were shipped in 2010, and you had a chance to see the original Hercules there and the Altair that went with it. And as you are seeing for today and tomorrow, everything is manufactured here, right literally on these premises.
That's just my office, and these one and these ones are purely dedicated to engineering, development. It's all, and everything is
big
done
source
here.
of
So that's
power,
our
so we
precision,
just
and
keep it
that's
for
signal
testing
generator
purposes.
slash analyzer slash
Yeah, it's an automated test.
Eddie, and again any engineering labs.
We
And
look like a lab.
Patrick. But this is again all R&D workstations right here. So obviously when you're developing new things, it's not gonna be perfect 100, very first shot. So then we do whatever the modification needs to be done. And oh, that's just a magnifier basically. So it's a big magnifier. So you look at here, so you can see like fine pitch ICs and like a magnifying.
When we have an assembly, so this is for the integrated, to make sure like these capacitors, are there enough room for everything to fit?
PCB, there's actually stacked layers that form connections inside and ones that form the connections on the outside, and that's what the different colors are. So red is the top, orange is the next down, light blue is next down, and then dark blue is the bottom. So it's a sandwich of different layers.
The way the process works is we get the board that's completely blank, right? Has no parts on it. Goes onto this, that's like it's like a stencil, and it has cutouts for where the part goes. So every board has its own stencil, so wherever the part needs to go, it has little cutouts. The board goes underneath this stencil. They put it here. They screen it with solder, and then once it has, so the solder will be only on the location where the parts are. And after that, that board goes into that machine. We call it pick and place machine. So it goes there, picks up the part, places the part on the board. Picks up the part, places on the board. More parts in the back, some parts in the front. And you can see the camera that picking up the part, placing the part. And once that part is done, then the board goes to the next step. So some of the parts, basically she adds it by hand. You can see this board, we started out blank over there. Now it has all the surface mount parts on it. So it's not blank anymore. The side, these are all workstations where they do, again, under the microscope, touch up and inspect like some parts that you have to solder it by hand, or if some part it's not perfectly aligned, then they can go like under microscope. So this is more of the component preparation area. As Peter mentioned, we use lots of JFETs and MOSFETs, and all of those parts are pre-sorted and pre-matched, and then they're separated by their characteristics. Even though they come pre-matched from the manufacturer, we match them on top of it, and we pick the closest one. And like for any given board or any given product, there we will use only one bag, and then all parts are like in a very tight tolerance of each other. So that's all component pre-matching, pre-testing, it's done here. So once in a while you find, the one has different IDSS, like current specs than other, and that's where we kind of separate it. So each part on the board, that's what Peter was saying, it's like a balance bridge circuitry. So you have all parts are within so tight specs, so it's perfectly well balanced. Depending on the port, whether it's
Depending on part of the circuitry it's going into.
right, it's JFET, FET, MOSFET transistors. And this machine can be set up. You want to measure the voltages, you want to measure the currents, you want to turn on at 30 volt and check it, or turn on at 60 volt and check it. So it's matched differently. So these are, we call it a stuffing line. Like surface mount is already done. So he's stuffing the boards. So he's basically inserting the through hole ports that goes through the board.
Inspiration to
Once he's done, they will go
This
to
is
the next
mono
step,
version.
and then they will get soldered all in.
separate. Mono.
These are inspiration to integrated. This is the board I think Richard was showing you on the computer. And these are boards in progress. They are at different stage, and certain steps have been done, certain steps needs to be done, but that's, we call it work in progress kind of thing. French fries, right.
And that boiling sound is the spray.
Just finished soldering that one board. So again, all parts are inserted. You can see the legs are sticking out on the bottom. That's what will get soldered all in one shot here. So this is what I was talking about, like constantly washing and cleaning and drying. So this one is ultrasonic. So if we have small boards or some sensitive parts, then it clean with ultrasonic cleaner. Out here, we'll trim the legs, and they will go in. These are more like, think about it's like a dishwasher, but industrial version of dishwasher. It runs at around 190 degree Fahrenheit, so it temperature. So it's basically warm water, not hot water. The water we use, it's deionized water, so it removes all the minerals and like calcium and magnesium and stuff. So it does not have any ions in it. So it does not deposit anything on the board.
So after the circuit boards come through wash and they're wet, we have to dry them. So if you come maybe over here, you'll see that you feel the hot air.
Yeah.
So these boards have gone through the washing process, and now they're, as you see, they're perfectly clean and
Yes.
shiny. You always have to remove any water you put on the board.